campaign mode to talk to us about tax and the people not paying tax in this country?
First of all, we have to greet the viewers. Good morning, wherever they are. And number two, there are two scenarios here. The first part is the Azimio part. We are already organizing rallies to try to pressure whatever they are pressuring.
Yes.
I don't know exactly. Nobody really know what they are pressurizing, because if it's about resignation, nobody is going to resign. We all know that, right? Then there is this other wing of the president and his team. They are trying to defend themselves. Of course, one thing that the president is aware about is that politics is run by perception. And because he got into power through perception creating,
yes,
when he coined a word about dynasties and the hustlers, where anybody who looked like he has some one or two things, he would be said atambiwa wewe uko na hiyo kitu because ulichukua kwa nani ndio hana. And you remember there was a time in the politics, I think it was around 2019, when that dynasty and hustler thing began. There was a lot of activities around the country. Border guys would just stop a vehicle. You know, there was even some that they almost burnt the deputy governor for Kisii. Then when they said that these are dynasties.
Yes.
There was a time when the former KDF Chief of General Staff, Karangi, when he was in his Mercedes in Nyeri, he tried to. They stopped him. I don't know what it was, but when the guy lowered the mirror, wakaona ni Karangi, they all ran away. Almost some of them almost left their border. And if you look at that one, he created that perception. And then these commoners, who are almost the majority, they're almost 90-something%.
Yes.
They ganged up behind him and tried to push away the so-called dynasties. And he knows very well that politics is driven by perception. In fact, really, politics is not driven by what you do. It is about what you say. And therefore, he cannot sit pretty thinking that Akina Baba, whatever they're saying will not have an impact. That is why he's coming out to also try to counter Akina Baba. But that said and done, I think the president, in his ideological orientation, is a centralist. President William Ruto is a centralist. He believes that all powers must coalesce around him. I doubt whether he respects institutions, because if you look at even executive order that he gave, when he gave Wakina Musalia some roles to go and to supervise PSS,
yes,
and some other agencies. Now look at what he did to the deputy president. He gave him powers that are not there, to supervise governors and to supervise independent commissions. How do you supervise those things? Because governors are elected. You can't tell them anything. They have their money. They got there through their votes. Independent commissions are supposed to work independently. They do their work. Just like IBC, we all wanted that they be impartial. And that is why if you look at how they have been praising Chebukati, because they know that he worked independently. And therefore, when you look at the orientation of the president and the people around him, they believe that he should be the one making almost every decision, that nobody is supposed to make a decision that has not consulted him. That is why you're finding even some funny things going on in the courts. And I don't know why judiciary is very reckless with this, and even some institutions like the asset recovery, the one for asset recovery, which in some cases they are withdrawing now. They actually won in court, and you wonder what is the relationship. It's like they're saying, we are sorry, we won the case in court, take your money back. I mean, you wonder really what are these guys doing? And it is therefore the president needs to be very careful, because if he continues with the same trend, is going to damage the reputation and the integrity and the public trust of all government institutions, and their failure will just be on him.
Yes. Let's dial it back a bit. I don't know whether the story is ready. Paul, you can confirm to me if you do have